Yeah, hey, hi guys. This is Roshan, MPhil in Rehab Psychology from M.ED. Today's topic is Introduction to Neurodevelopmental Disorder. This is unit one of your syllabus, in which we will be covering intro parts of neurodevelopmental disorders and its causes. Then we'll switch to learning disabilities, natures, and we'll try to understand the characteristics and types of learning disabilities. Here we go. Neurodevelopmental disorders are a group of disorders that affects the development of nervous system, leading to abnormal brain functions, which may affect the emotion of the person's learning abilities and self-control and memory. The effects of neurodevelopmental disorders tend to last for a person's lifetime. Examples of neurodevelopmental disorders in children includes the condition of ADHD, autism, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, which is also known as MR, cerebral palsy, and impairment in vision and hearing. ADHD is one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders. Children with ADHD will have difficulties with attentions and controlling impulsive behavior or be overly active. Autism is also one of the common condition. Autism is a developmental disability significantly affecting verbal and non-verbal communication. They also have the problem with the social interaction. Cerebral palsy, usually caused by brain damage before or at the time of birth, that causes the loss of control of arms and legs. Learning disability, it is a condition which affects a person's ability to process information. Intellectual disability, which is also known as MR, is a disability characterized by significant limitations both in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior. Intellectual functioning in terms of reasoning, learning, and problem solving abilities. What causes neurodevelopmental disorders? One important reason that every parents would like to know, what is the reason behind the cause. The cause of neurodevelopmental disorders are still largely unknown. In some cases, there may be a genetic factor or a neurodevelopmental disorders may run in certain families. That's why in a case studies, taking a family history becomes a very important part of the activity, very important part of the intervention activity. Researchers also believe that certain things related to or that occurred during pregnancy may play a key role in the development of this disorder, such as low birth weight, environmental contaminants such as lead or radio frequencies, fatal exposure to smoking, alcohol, recreational drugs or medications during pregnancy, premature birth, even the nutritionals, not having an adequate nutritionals to the mother may also lead to the neurodevelopmental disorders. Learning disability. As we have seen, one of the example of neurodevelopmental disorders. We'll try to see its nature, needs, and interventions part. Whenever we come across the children in the school with a low achievement, the first questions comes to anybody's mind that why is the child is not achieving up to the mark or average mark or up to the mark like how the other peers groups are doing it. It could be the reason of learning problems in them. We'll try to understand what is the contributing factor to learning problems. It could be because of low IQ. The child may have the specific learning disabilities which can be only labeled after screening and assessment using appropriate intervention tool. Could be also the reason of social cultural disadvantages in which the child is growing through. Children with LD might be functioning like other peers in all aspects except academics. Such children actually might have a problem in their learning process. Children with LD can help to cope in their academics through appropriate supports and teaching strategies. It is very important for the teacher, for the parents, for the guardian to know the problem of the child so that they can provide appropriate support to the children to cope up with the academics achievements as well. Definition of learning disability. Learning disability is a condition when a child's achievement is significantly lower than what one might expect for that child. As per ICD 10, definition of LD stands, it refers to a significant deficit in learning due to a person's inability to interpret what is seen and heard or to link information from different parts of the brain. Learning disorders can be classified into three major types. One is disorder of writing expressions, disorders of reading, and mathematics disorders. LD may also cause difficulties with organization skills, social perceptions in children, and social interactions. That's why engaging inclusion of the social interactions, play therapies, and multiple props activities to the children with LD can help the child to improve and to cope up with the challenges, academics challenges. Frequently, LD also coexists with other conditions including attention, behavioral, and emotional disorders, sensory impairments, and other medical conditions. Few common characteristics of learning disabilities. This is very useful for the teacher at the time of screening the child. They have an average or above average ability in terms of thinking and reasoning, have a processing difficulties, they demonstrate below average academic achievements, they are likely to less engage in learning tasks, they are poorly organized in both thoughts and work habits, they are less confident in their ability to learn, they are often frustrated with difficult work tasks, less willing to take risk in learning situations, they are unable to cope up with the multiple instructions. Let's try to understand what are the types of learning disabilities. There are three major types of learning disabilities. One is dyslexia, which is having difficulties with the reading, writing, speaking, spellings, and speaking abilities. They have a difficulties in processing language. Dyscalculia, difficulty with the math, challenging doing math problems, understanding time, using money. Dysgraphia, they have a difficulty in writing. They often have a problem with handwriting, spelling, organizing ideas. The subdivisions are as follows. Sensory integration disorders, they have a difficulty with fine motor skills, problems with hand-eye coordinations, balancing problems. Auditory processing disorders, problems with reading, comprehension of language. Visual processing disorders, problems with reading, maps, charts, symbols. Basically, the types of learning disabilities classified into dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. Vocabulary or using age-appropriate grammar, they have a difficult following directions, inability to rhyme, does not notice when nursery rhymes have repeated first sound, inconsistent memory for words, lists, and directions, trouble knowing the sounds of letters, slow to learn the alphabet letters, names, or forms. They have difficult learning to read, difficulty remembering names, shapes, or letters, persistence confusion with B.D., P.Q., slow and laborious oral reading, trouble persisting. These are the few known characteristics of dyslexia in terms of oral language and reading. In terms of writing, they have a very difficulty organizing with writing a written language into sentence and paragraphs, trouble learning to spell, difficulty in proofreading, commonly confuse synonyms in writing, insightful, bright, witty, creative. Interesting characteristics they have: they are insightful, bright, creative and innovative guys, makes and keep friends easily, strong comprehension of orally presented informations, they may solve complex mathematical problems in their head, they are very good at understanding maps and diagrams, enjoys hands-on activities, putting things together, good at geometric shapes and angles. Now we'll try to look at the common characteristics of dyscalculia. People has difficulty learning and recalling basics numbers. For example, 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. Still uses fingers during the period of childhood. They are unable to use a mental mass like mental calculations of the basic mathematical activities. Poor in understanding of the signs like plus, minus, cross marks, X, or may confuse these mathematical symbols. Struggles to recognize that 3 plus 5 is same as 5 plus 3, or may not be able to solve 3 plus 26 minus 26 without calculating. Has trouble with place value, often putting numbers in the wrong column. They may not understand math language or be able to devise a plan to solve a maths problem. Finds it difficult to understand maths phrases like greater than or less than. Has trouble keeping score in sports or games. Has difficulty working out the total cost of items and can run out of money. May avoid situations that requires understanding numbers like playing games that involves maths. Coming to a few common characteristics of dysgraphia. Basically, children with the condition of dysgraphia may have cramped fingers or unusual grip on writing tool, excessive erasures, inconsistence also we can find it out, mixing print, cursive and upper lowercase letters, irregular shapes, size, not having a proper sequences while writing, they are not online as given directions, unfinished words or letters, inconsistent position on page as you can see in the image here, inconsistent spacing between letters and words, slow or labored copying or writing, misuse of line and margins, or they required the frequent need and support for verbal cues, heavy reliance on vision to monitor what hand is doing during writing, slow implementation of verbal directions that involve sequencing and planning. Teachers in the school or the parents are suggested to go for a screening. After finding difficulties, they should go for the screening, and post screening they should go for the assessment so that appropriate teaching strategies can be implemented, and hence the teachers and the stakeholders can support the child in coping up with the academic challenges.